All right, all right, all right. Welcome to today's edition of Le Cheap Pop Podcast on First GenXers. I am your host, Dark Lord 100, here with my co-host, the one and only Rune Squire, host of the Night Shift. What's up, brother?
Hey, hey,
All right, we are sans one saint for this week. He had some Mother's Day festivities he had to
yeah.
attend. So,
and and happy Mother's Day to everybody
yeah,
out there celebrating. Whether you are a mother, have a wife that's a mother, or celebrating your own mother.
exactly. Happy Mother's Days to all mothers in all shapes and forms. And no, I will not say Happy Mother's Day to single fathers. You have a day for yourself. It comes in June. It's called Father's Day. Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm still upset that there is no Awesome Uncle's Day.
Yeah, I agree. There should be an Awesome Uncle's Day. There definitely should be. Like awesome uncles are just as important
And awesome
as
aunts. Yeah,
and awesome aunts as mom and dads.
yeah.
So in today's day and age, all you got to do is create a social media campaign about it over it, and it is what it is. All right. We open up this week's show as always with our favorite hot segment, and that is hot topics on the Cheap Pop Podcast. And we have been talking about what has been the hottest topic in all of the MCU, and that is Daredevil Born Again. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that season
That
2 finale. Oh,
was something else.
it was
Uh,
60 minutes of slow pressure cooking tension building up in there, both with the courtroom and with the fight sequences.
Oh my God, the fight sequences were amazing.
Yeah. So let's get to the courtroom drama with the trial of Karen Page.
Yes. That kind of finished itself up this week as Matt, first of all, subpoenaed or brought to testify the one and only Wilson Fisk.
Yes,
and put him on the stand. That was amazing.
That was fantastic. And Fisk is all like, "Oh, I'm happy to do my civic duty."
Yes. The one thing that I truly loved about the interaction the entire time Fisk was on the stand was the level of communication between him and Daredevil on a kind of secret level.
Yeah,
because he would whisper in a way knowing Matt could hear him.
Yeah, are you sure you want to do this? Is this the road you really want to go down? You want to do this? Fisk just absolutely arrogant bastard he is through and through in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole end game was setting things up step by step.
Yep.
To show how the task force and the Safer Streets Initiative was really just Fisk's vendetta against one man, Daredevil, and that there was another person on the Northern Star to confirm that there were weapons on there. In there, he got the testimony of the first mate that they had recorded and deposed. He got that introduced, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's just hearsay." But the prosecution's going up against that, and so Matt corners Fisk legally, in the argument. It's like, is it safe to say that you hate Daredevil? And going all throughout all this, only
he walked him like a dog straight to where he wanted him to be.
He walked him like a dog. Only for Matt to, in front of God, New York, and everybody, saying right in the middle of the courtroom, "I am Daredevil."
Yep.
And that was same energy, peak MCU as I am Iron Man.
Iron Man,
And
100%. They built to that moment. 100%.
They built that moment so well, and everyone's just laughing at Matt saying he's Daredevil. He tosses his cane as the Billy Club bounces it off 3 surfaces to catch it in his hand, and everyone's all like,
"You are Daredevil."
Yeah.
And Karen's sitting there crying because she's understanding the impact of what he's doing.
Exactly.
But the
one thing I noticed was Kristen was a little blasé about it.
Yeah.
Like
she kind of probably already thought it. Like she probably figured it out.
I didn't know if she figured it out or if she had been told Don't know.
Before. Either way. But I definitely love the way he walks him to it. Like he definitely 100% walks Fisk right into like the eventual like I am Daredevil and I can testify to the fact that blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
What was important about that scene to me though was the shift in that one female judge.
Right, exactly.
Because early on, when Matt was doing his thing with Fisk, and he was asking him a series, every objection was being met with sustain.
Right,
like every objection from the prosecution was being met with sustain. And then as he got closer to the reveal of him saying "I am Daredevil," you started noticing her specifically being like overruled. Like, I hear this overruled. And it was that
Matt was
her.
That Matt also had his Clarence Darrow on perfectly in there and leading them to the ideas of justice and everything. And it's like, as my co-counsel said at the opening of this trial, the question is, what is a hero? What is a vigilante? Yep. And also the fact that you also felt the tide turn before Matt does the big reveal. When Jessica comes in to the courtroom with the governor.
Yeah.
And Fisk is all like, wait a second. This is not going how it should.
Yeah. That's when Fisk started to realize his plan was falling apart.
Right.
Buck as well.
And also the task force had a sniper set in place to take out Murdoch.
That was great.
And then Bullseye said, "No, not quite."
I love it. No, I love it because Bullseye's like fucking knockoffs. Like I'm just like damn,
fucking amateurs.
Yeah.
All that. The crowd at the moment that I Am Daredevil gets broadcast is just erupting and cheering. The crowd outside, they're all up in it, and then the newest BB report comes on right after Fisk does his little on-stand monologue about the city being under siege, and it just goes off with yes, this city is under siege by me, Mayor Kingpin. I'm the one who's kidnapping all your loved ones and blah blah blah.
And it was as done repeatedly by Marvel with a lot of these shows, it was a very good mirror of certain aspects of real life in recent years.
As I talk about, as I constantly talk about, they're not predicting anything.
Yeah,
the Daredevil and Andor, they are not predicting anything. They are just drawing on historical precedents on how authoritarian governments work and how to resist authoritarian governments. That's it. They're just adapting it to the specific niches.
The modern day.
Exactly.
And that's where I tell people it's like this show, the aftermath of this show shows where like you have Karen Page and Daredevil sitting at a diner together, basically enjoying kind of like one last laugh.
Yeah.
And one last good time before the police come to take Matt
away for attempted murder, assault, and all these other non-vigilante provision
charges.
Actual legal charges. And
I believe she even says to him, like, as they pull up, I thought we had more time.
yeah.
And so like,
So,
it's and then Luke, and then the interesting thing at the end with Luke is you see Luke, you get the daddy. We talked about that off air,
yeah,
but
where
you get to see
Danielle is,
Luke Page.
yeah,
What's up?
Where Luke comes back, and
Mm.
Jessica's just in her office with Danielle and talking and just kind of drinking it all in, and then all of a sudden Luke comes into the Office of Alias Investigations, and Danielle's like, "Daddy!" and your heart just goes, "Oh!" And
but the critical part that I was talking about was the conversation between her and Luke. Like, she's like, "So how was it out there?" And he's like, "It's definitely different, right?" And he says, and he says, "I heard they found somebody else."
Yeah,
and she goes,
and
"Yeah, they did." And you flash to the plane, and it's Matthew Lillard's character sitting there,
Mr. Charles sitting next to dead Bullseye.
Bullseye, sitting
on the
next to
plane, going
Poindexter.
somewhere else. But let's
I
get
assume
to,
off to do whatever Luke was doing.
Yeah, let's get to which actually gives Luke, I'm sure, pretty good dose of PTSD.
Yeah, big time.
He had to do dirty deeds to keep his family safe. But let's get to the meat of this New York pastrami sandwich that was the season finale, and that is the fight sequence.
Oh my God!
Because when BB casts her final report on Mayor Kingpin, the crowd just gets enraged in there. They're ready to jump the line, and the police line of the vigilante task force, keeping them out of the courthouse. And even Cherry and Brett show up, just walk right up, because vigilante task force, they're all ready to start cracking heads. And
I love that scene
because it's Cherry and Brett talking their brother officers down from this, while Doyle's trying to get them to go in there and bust skulls.
At that point when it got really tense, Doyle was literally telling them, "Shoot them, shoot them all,
shoot them." And and then it's the officer who got the face scars from the invasion of Matt's apartment to try to get Daredevil and the Punisher. The officer that was on just like one episode before testifying about it, he's the one who smacks Doyle in the head with a rifle butt and lays him out.
Because Doyle says, "Fine then," because they're going back and forth, and he's like, "Shoot them." Doyle's like, "Shoot them." And he's
Doyle's
like, "No, they're one of us." He's like, "They're one of us." He's like, Doyle's like, "They're not one of us." Like, what are you talking about? He's like, "Yeah, they're law enforcement." Like, basically is what he means. Like, they're law enforcement. They're one of us. And he's like, "No, they're not one of us." And he's like, and then like you said, Doyle says, "F it, I'll do it myself," and goes to raise his gun, and dude hits him with the butt of his and knocks him out. And then he looks back at the rest of the officers. There's like
the rest of the officers. The rest of the officers.
He looks at them all. He goes, "Let them through."
Yeah.
Yep. He goes, tells them, "Let them through. Let them through."
And then the crowd starts going in, and Fisk, he knows what's going on. He can hear the crowd. He can hear the BB report being played on blast on loudspeakers out there, and he just freaking loses it as the courtroom starts to get evacuated for safety. And the crowd is coming up through the courtroom. They come up they're going through the courthouse, going through the corridors en masse in a wave. They come up to the courtroom, the doors are closed, and then all of a sudden the door flings open and it's Fisk, and he jumps out and goes, "Boo," like that, and pop, first guy in there.
Well, okay, well, you're missing. You jumped over the whole part where basically they get moved. Everybody gets cleared. They get moved to one area where Matt contained them in one room barricaded.
The judges, the mayor, and the defense get barricaded in there.
Yeah, get barricaded in the room, and then Fisk is in a different room because I forget, somewhere along the way, Buck gets shot.
Yeah,
because
Bullseye
Heather is
shoots
taking care
Buck
of, but
in there.
yeah,
Right.
Bullseye shoots. Oh no, that's what happened is when they go outside, they think that their guy is going to shoot Matt, and
Right.
instead he ends up hitting
He
Buck.
ends up shooting Buck, and they re-evacuate back to the courtroom. Okay.
Right, and then that's when they go back in, and Fisk and them are in the courtroom,
the DA,
and Matt Murdock and them are in the other room. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Heather, the psychiatrist, she's tending to Buck, since she's literally the only medical personnel in that room at the moment. You know, Buck is gut shot, and she goes over to the DA, and she says, "Let me see your jacket." And the DA is like, "But this is blah blah blah, you know, some designer brand, you know, on part of Armani." And she's like, "This man is bleeding out." And dude is like, "That's not my problem." And even as the riot is going on, dude is macking on Heather. He's like, "We don't belong here. We can just walk out and leave them alone." And does the creepy face stroke with her.
Yeah.
And then
she gets him.
What does Heather Five Fingers say to his face? Yeah.
It wasn't to his face. She chopped that nigga in his throat.
Oh, right.
she popped him one right in his Adam's apple.
There's so much action that everything is a jumble. But
I feel you.
Fisk popped out and starts he is unleashed, raging bull. He is dropping bodies left and right with his hands. He takes a citizen, by the legs like a sack of potatoes and swings the dude against a hallway corner. You hear dude's back snap and then just gets discarded. He comes out literally looking like the Punisher from that cell block fight scene. And Punisher just had 4 or 5 guys he was, going through.
Well, I'll say it like this.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Every martial arts teacher I've ever learned from has always taught that when you're outnumbered, devastating strikes are what matter the most. And Fisk showed that in real time because he was literally punching people and caving in their chest. Fisk was not holding back at all from his full strength. He was headbutting people and caving in their skulls. And what was sad about it is after he came out the courtroom and killed the first 2 or 3 people were actually backing away from him and not trying to fuck with him. And now he was rolling forward and just catching people as he caught them and killing them. It was insane.
He's screaming, I was fighting for you. I was making a better city. Everything like that. And at the same time, on the defense side, where they're hunkering down in place, Matt's hearing all this, and Matt's like, we got to get in there. And Jessica's got to go trick or treat. She tosses him a bag. This guy's costume in there. So Matt and Jessica start going in. And this was the whole fight sequence to end all whole fight sequence, because at the same time, you've got flashbacks. Or you're cutting in between the 2 hall fight sequences. You got Matt and Jessica rolling through the vigilante task force who are trying to bust in to kill all the defense, including the governor, including the judges in there. They're rolling through them. Then you cut the Fisk rolling through civilians, then back to Matt and Jessica.
Very beautifully shot.
It was fantastic.
Very well shot. Definitely. Like I said, I actually, I'm glad you brought up that scene, because I talk about the one thing I said before is that one of the most, it was how do I say this? Disturbingly sweet to see. And what I mean by that is this: watching Hector Ayala's niece basically become the new White Tiger. Angela become the new White Tiger, and watching her interactions, helping them get out of that hall, and watching her take down anti-vigilante task force officers, and she's cutting the shit out of them with the little knives. And then at one point, Jessica Jones is slamming some dude up against the walls, and she's got another dude down sitting with his back to the wall, and she's taking his head in the helmet, and she's just slamming it in the wall, and it's just like,
and Matt,
whoa!
In the middle of this is calming them down, keeping them focused, no killing in there, and it all leads up to Fisk with pushing the crowd in front of him with the bodies. He literally tosses a dude over the colonnade, the two stairways that come up to the entrance. In the foyer, in the giant foyer of the New York courthouse, he tosses them off of that balcony in there, and Matt's down there. Everyone's down there in the crowd, and the crowd are watching this, and they are all out of fucks to give. They know that they have to take back this city, and they're just rushing up both stairwells to him, and Fisk is just bap. And they're trying, and they literally finally drag Fisk down under a swamp of like what, 12.5 bodies, at least 20 people.
Easy. At least 20 people all taking their shots at him.
Still tossing people off of him and doing damage. And then Matt finally says, no. He shouts out. He starts pulling people off. Fisk, we're better than this. We're better than him. And Matt being the voice of reason. And the whole thing is that Fisk has been told that he has a deal with the AG of New York that if he resigns his position, goes into exile, effective immediately, he will not be criminally charged. Of course, that's before there's about 24 deaths, maimings, cripplings to Fisk's name. So I'm kind of surprised that the AG kept up with that. But Matt just, he's down there. He and Fisk are on their knees, looking at each other. They're out of breath. They're tired. And it's like
exhausted.
We both love this city in different ways. If we keep doing this, we are going to destroy the thing we love and we fight for. Yep. Take the deal.
Yep.
And so they both end up losing the battle because we end with Fisk going into exile.
Yeah.
And with Matt walking into prison carrying his prison oranges, and he's passing a line as they're taking him to his cell. And there's a lot of people who they're not looking at Daredevil's like, yeah, we got him. They're looking at him with respect.
Yeah.
They're looking at him.
He did what it took to save New York.
To save, not only just to save New York, but it's like, I'm sure Matt's put away a couple of those people as Daredevil, and they're like, yeah, we ain't fucking with him.
Yeah.
And
even they have the respect for him to
say, they're just going to leave him alone. And Matt goes into solitary confinement. And literally the final thing that we see is we get the reunion of Luke and Jess and Danielle.
Yep.
We get Charles whisking Bullseye off to an assignment somewhere exotic.
Yeah.
and in perfect fashion, the stewardess goes up to Mr. Charles and say, hi, Mr. I think Alexander or Mr. Smith, we'd like to thank you and congratulate you for being a Million Mile member, for making the Million Mile Club. And he's all like, oh, wow, really? That's great.
Thanks. Yeah,
thank you.
He looks over at Poindexter. Poindexter's just like,
you see that his seatmate is Bullseye. And then we see Heather. Poor Heather, whose entire logical world has been absolutely shattered. Yeah. And she pulls open a drawer at her vanity, and she takes out the Muse mask and puts it on.
Mhm. That was the one that got me right there. I was like, oh, really? Is she going to come back in season 3 as the Muse?
I would
As a
expect
more
so.
twisted version
Yeah.
of the Muse? Because you
Yeah.
could see her throughout the entire beginning part of the episode,
Right,
and
because
the whole thing in the
because
courthouse. You could see her kind of snapping.
Yeah, Matt's going cross-examining Heather in there about the identity, about her whole thing about, you know, that the mask is the vigilante isn't the mask. The public persona is the mask of the vigilante,
Yes,
whereas
right.
the vigilante is the real person. And Matt's like, well, does that make Karen Page not a vigilante? Because she was not wearing a mask.
That's right. She's not hiding who she is.
She wasn't hiding who she was. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and also final epilogue. BB gets welcomed to the New York Bulletin by, I forget the editor name. They brought him back to bring her into the Bulletin, and she gets Ben's belongings that were in storage and being kept.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is, everybody gets what they deserved in there.
Ultimately.
And you know, Fisk is just left on this beautiful Mediterranean beach, looking out over the crystal blue water, and looking totally lost, alone, and without purpose.
Now we'll get to what we think is going to happen in season 3 once we get the pop culture corner. But for now, we're going to wrap up the Daredevil talk and move on to what has become my second favorite show, and that is the one and only Maul, Shadow Lord.
Oh my God.
Dun, dun, dun.
Another fantastic ending, you know, from, you know, beginning to end. As the main characters, you know, the Empire's on Janix now.
Yes.
And everyone, Maul and his crew are trying to get off. The Lawsons and the Jedi are trying to get off the planet. And it turns out that Maul makes a deal with Paul Bettany's character from Solo.
Okay.
I can't remember the name. I had it up at one point. But the guy who was running Crimson Dawn in Solo. So this takes place a bit before the events of the Solo film.
Right.
And so he'll get them off Voss, Paul Bettany's character.
Voss,
Quinlan Voss. And he will extract them all as long as Maul makes him the leader of Crimson Dawn.
Yes.
And Maul's all good with that. So we're going to get Maul out. We're going to get Devin and her master out. We're going to get the Lawsons and Two Boots out. And we're going to get Ludi out as well. But as the plan starts falling apart, as the Imperial forces start enclosing in on the landing pad, and the end of episode 9 is Maul's like, wait a minute. And he's on edge. And we look off into
when they come out the other side of the
and all of a sudden the slow Imperial march starts to play. The red lightsaber gets ignited, and we see Vader stepping out of the mist.
Yep,
and that's where episode 10 picks up, is Vader emerging. And literally, like 80% of episode 10, the finale, is the fight between Maul and Vader. And Vader is, and to their credit, they have James Earl Jones's voice and permission to use AI to replicate his voice now that he is gone.
Uh,
It is just absolute silence from Vader, nothing but the breathing. And Vader is handling Maul,
yep.
Master Davi,
Doki, yeah.
Doki, and
Doki.
Devin all at once.
Oh yeah, like they ain't nothing either.
They ain't no, yeah. And it's something very interesting because Maul's trying to get Devin to give into her rage. Doki's telling her, no, that is not the way. That is a trap. We must remain calm in the place of fear. And Maul replies, this enemy knows how Jedi work. He knows how to use your calm against you. The only way is to give in to rage. That is the only way to win. Then the Grand Inquisitor and Inquisitor subordinates show up and try to jump into the fight. So it becomes bunch of one-on-one fights in there. Devin handles herself against the two Inquisitors while Doki goes to help Maul at certain points. Vader is just like boom, 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 absolute precision, absolute calm, but still absolute passion and rage, but under his absolute control.
Oh, he has absolute control of that rage, and he will release it wherever he feels he needs to release it.
Exactly. He's bringing down sections of the temple to block off escape routes and everything. Yep. Meanwhile, the non-Force users are running to the landing strip and run into the Imperial Guardians, and the reinforcements that are coming, the Stormtrooper reinforcements that are coming. Yeah. They start getting hunted down by the Imperial shuttle that brought the Imperials. And so they develop a plan to distract the Imperials. And then Two Boots goes to the heavy repeating blaster and shoots down the shuttle. They're like, yay, heroes win.
Yeah, exactly.
They're safe.
Well,
and then here come the two ARC transports with more Imperials.
Yep.
And
I love the scene when Maul's crew was flying in through all the Imperial battleships and all that, and they're trying to land and find him. Like it was an insane. It was a few insane moments in there.
Voss's ship makes it in, and the non-Force users, they're near, but they're still cut off. Voss and his guy are shooting troopers as best as they can. And then Captain Lawson does the I love you, son.
Yeah.
Do whatever it takes to get him to his mother.
Yeah.
And does a death or glory charge against the Imperials with the heavy repeating blaster, carrying it. And then when he gets shot a couple times, he drops it and just starts charging in with his blaster pistol in there. And Two Boots has to grab Riley and take him off.
Riley wants to keep fighting with his dad.
Yeah. Back to the Force fight. Master Doki is killed.
Yeah. By I believe one of the Inquisitors, right? Or is he killed by Vader?
No, Vader. He goes to help. Okay, so
because Maul leaves him alone with Vader.
Maul gets a leg wound and a side wound for the cybernetics, so he's not as mobile as he normally is. Devin goes to help him. Vader's working on Devin. Doki comes to help Devin out, and then Doki gets tossed aside with the Force. Doki is doing his best, and then Vader gets him with a reverse slash through the chest, and that's when Devin snaps.
Yeah, that's when she starts to embrace her dark side for sure.
and she gives Vader a good fight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Then Maul starts bringing down. Maul force shoves Vader away, and then brings down the temple with Devin's help. And then they both escape, and they barely make it onto Voss's ship.
Voss's ship, yeah.
And then Voss takes off. It's getting pursued by the two Ark transports, and then they break Atmo and light speed.
Yeah, and then they let it go. But I did love the fact that, again, whenever I watch Star Wars stuff, they always do a really, really good job of making you understand exactly how talented Vader was with the Force. Because that scene of him walking through the crumbling building, and he's just like and crushing rocks with the Force and just move,
yeah,
and just not being.
He's fighting Devin and Master Doki with his right hand with the lightsaber, and Force choking Maul with his left hand. It's like, yeah, I can do this all day.
like genuinely,
the only thing that stops Vader is underestimating his opposition.
Yep.
And it shows that, he was being kind to Luke. He literally could have taken Luke any moment from Empire through Return of the Jedi that he wants, but he still wants his son.
Yep.
That was the only thing stopping him.
The Vader thing. I did do a little bit of research on who the other Inquisitor was, and they said it was Brother 11. Because I was like, is that General Grievous? Like, no. Because he had the bird-like mask.
He had a mask that was similar, but that's the mask of the Grand Inquisitor.
Right. And so, like I said, they said his name was Brother 11.
Yeah. In either Rebels or Obi-Wan, we actually saw 11 become the Grand Inquisitor.
Okay.
Can't remember which one.
But those two fighting Maul was some really off the fucking hook fights.
Yeah, it was just absolute one of the best lightsaber sequences in all of the animated Star Wars, much less the live action Star Wars. And the animated stuff just is almost peerless for their lightsaber fights. Yeah. And Vader not only fighting 3 highly trained Force users at once with his lightsaber, but also parrying incoming blaster fire from the non-Force users before they have to retreat. He is just an absolute whirlwind in there. It was fantastic to see.
Yeah, and again, they humanized, because I'll put it to you like this: they humanized Maul in enough of a capacity that when she finally kind of turns and shifts to feeling what I agreed with the turn. It wasn't like I was like, oh no, a Jedi.
Yeah, it was a perfect. It was a great turn. Yeah,
it was a great logical reason for it.
Yeah, it's the same way that Clone Wars made Anakin's turn logical and understandable and relatable, with expanding on everything that he had to go through and encounter and endure. But yeah, Maul Shadow Lord closes off with the retreating ship. Maul telling Voss that you're going to be in charge of Crimson Dawn now. And then in the cargo bay, Devin, Riley, Two Boots, and Ludi just kind of taking stock of everything. And you have that moment of empathy from Devin to Riley, that emotional connection where they both just lost their fathers, figuratively and literally. And then Maul comes back after talking with Voss, slumps down next to Devin, and then the last frames that we see are a close-up of Devin's eye bridge and Maul's eye bridge, back and forth, and Devin saying, "I'm ready."
Yep. And let me say this, like I said, We don't know if there's going to be a season 2 or 3 or whatever, but I hope they are.
Oh, I so hope they are. Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what they say. What they're saying right now. Season 2 status. Disney Plus has officially renewed the series for a second season. Showrunners have hinted that the next season will pivot more toward the criminal underworld and further explore the manipulative relationship between Maul and his new apprentice, Devin.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yes,
I'm glad.
Will be a season 2.
And let's close out the hot topics by talking about other season 2 initiatives, because the Acolyte. Oh wait, are we talking about the Acolyte in?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
yeah,
because there is a growing movement. The Acolyte still is in Disney top 10 streaming, because nobody knows if it's because at the end of each episode of Maul, the Acolyte pops up as a suggested to watch.
Okay.
The follow up, so it's getting more exposure that way. Or if the fanboy outrage has died down enough that people are actually giving it a chance.
Right.
Little column A, little column B. But there's a fan movement to bring back the Acolyte. If it works, who knows? Also, getting back into Daredevil, the one thing I was missing from that fight is, like, as I'm watching them go through the anti-vigilante task force, I'm like, yeah, just as cool, but it'd be really helpful in this fight?
What?
A super strong and vulnerable side piece, Matt.
Talking about the She-Hulk.
Yeah.
it would have been a great moment to bring her back. But then that makes that scene almost too easy.
Yeah, but this is true, yes. But Tatiana Maslany has made perfect responses to the possibility of a second season She-Hulk, since that's getting a growing vocal movement online now too, to bring her back. And she basically says, I think that if I came back, the fandom would go crazy. Notice she didn't say which side of the fandom would go crazy.
Yeah. Both of them would.
Both of them would, yeah. Because the ones who are complaining about her would lose their minds, absolutely. And the ones who, like me, who liked it, we'll be losing our minds in a good way. It's like, fuck yes.
Heck yeah. So
I'm just upset that we didn't get Nelson, Murdoch, and Walters.
That would have been pretty cool.
That would have been awesome. But, we'll see. There's still doors still open. Because let's face it, Karen was better as an investigative reporter than she really was as a paralegal. And
very true.
Jen was somebody that Matt could relate to on all things, professional and heroically. They're both reluctant heroes that got to do what they got to do, and they're both lawyers, extremely well-trained lawyers who can relate to the bullshit.
Very true.
And Karen is part of that world, but she's tangential to it. She's not out there every night cracking heads. She's not presenting legal briefs every day in court and going through, mounds of paperwork. She's filing the paperwork, but she's not having to prepare it.
Right. She's not actually going and preparing the case.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll see what comes ahead for Disney Plus. Let's move on to newer stuff.
Well, we will move on to the second segment of the show, which is all right, Pop Culture Corner. We talk all things pop culture, and the first subject that's up is I believe you brought this to our attention. But
I
from
did indeed. So,
cancellation to resurrection. Talk to us.
okay. Back in 1989, DC had a slight change in what would become one of its major titles, which is Swamp Thing.
Yes.
They were coming off the iconic Alan Moore run and gave writing the title over to just as accomplished writer Rick Veitch, Veitch.
Okay.
Now, Veitch himself even says, he said this back in an interview in 2012, being in a rock and roll band and following the Beatles on stage, no matter how good you are, the Beatles are always going to be better. That's the position I was in taking over Swamp Thing.
Okay.
The editor, Karen Bergen, and Alan and I used to joke about committing career suicide by taking it on, but I was just perverse enough to do it anyway. So, Alan Moore pumped up the supernatural. Rick Veitch embraced the supernatural and made it more philosophical.
Okay.
This is where we start getting into the Parliament of Trees and other things like that. And the major arc of the storyline was Swamp Thing getting catapulted across space and time in Swamp Thing number 80, going to Nazi Germany, the American Revolution, and Camelot. And this was so that Swamp Thing and Veitch already had enough on his plate trying to follow Alan Moore. He didn't want to deal with the summer crossover that year, which was checking that out. Invasion.
Okay.
So he didn't want to have to deal with Invasion, which was the Dominators. If you've seen the Arrowverse, you know the Invasion storyline.
Yeah.
I figured if I got Swamp Thing off the planet and out of our time zone, then Swamp Thing comics could just be about that, and they wouldn't have to be part of whatever that crossover was. The other
took my dude away from all that bullshit.
Yeah. The other aspect was that there were a few DC characters at the time who hadn't been staked out by various creative peoples who wanted to retcon them. The richest vein of available characters were all in the past. The cowboys, the cavemen, the gladiators, the knights, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was all that.
All of that, okay.
But then we get to the sequence that Rick Veitch wrote. And was fully illustrated. I mean, they had these Swamp Thing number 87, where it was not published because it was literally Swamp Thing going to the crucifixion and witnessing the resurrection.
Okay.
DC editorial felt that was just kind of a step too far and cut that out and it was already done. Plot was done, pencils were done, inks were done. It was all good to go. But DC pulled it, and at last year's New York Comic-Con, DC announced that they are going to be publishing the 4 issues that were cut from that storyline. Swamp Thing 1989, and it's going to be a 4-issue Black Label limited series coming out this week in your comic store. Continues the comic's original 1989 numbering on the cover. Michael Zulli was the artist, the pencil for those 4. Vince Locke completes completes all the inking and coloring. on what was issue number 87 and 88. And then Tom Mandrake does the illustrations for 89 through 91. So.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's just 87 was the one that was pulled. And then the other three, 89, 90, 91 were also pulled. So, yeah. So we are now getting that complete storyline. And, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll say one last thing before I close this out, move us on to the next subject. But I'll say, I remember Swamp Thing. I remember the Swamp Thing movies. I remember them coming on late night on like Cinemax and
USA.
Before all the Skinemax stuff started and all that. They would come on USA, they would come on Cinemax, they would come on HBO on a really, really late night. And I never had a chance to read the comic book much. I'm beginning to believe I should have.
Yes. Back when Alan Moore took over, like I said, he started embracing the supernatural aspects of Swamp Thing. Mm-hmm. And also the, shall we say, herbal psychedelic aspects of Swamp Thing to raise consciousness to be able to access the green and the communal of all life.
Okay.
So
sounds like some Captain Planet shit.
Well, if Captain Planet were able to grow shrooms and weed out of his body and let his human friends consume it to join him in the green.
Let me tell you this. As long as they ain't getting it from around their crotch, any friend of mine that can grow weed on his body and give it to me for free, you got a friend in me.
Hellblazer, John Constantine, the story arc, Dangerous Habits, starts off with John Constantine's 40th birthday in the comics. And he's just absolutely depressed, thinking he's an old man. And all of a sudden he gets a surprise party from all of his friends in the mystic community, a couple of mages, a demoness that he's plotting some things with, and Zatanna herself. And they're in England. They've got some alcoholic beverages, and Constantine's all like, this just doesn't feel like a party. And one of his buddies says, wait a minute, hold on, I've got an idea. And he goes off, comes back, he's got this little like Home Depot clay plant pot with this scraggly little, cannabis plant in there. It's literally it's like a cannabis version of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It's that sickly and everything. And so they basically get Swamp Thing to come in, and all of a sudden it's like a full-on blooming house plant for them. So that's how that's Swampy's gift to Constantine on the 40th birthday. Plus you get to see Zatanna literally toking with the blunt in front of her. She's keeping it levitated using her magic, and she says, I'm out of my face backwards, because that's how she casts her spell. And, it was fantastic. But Swamp Thing, there was a lot of supernatural stuff, and then they got into the occult, crossing over with Hellblazer, doing stuff like the Resurrection Army storyline, where a group of renegade angels want to force the second coming, and Constantine ends up spoiling it by seducing and sleeping with the woman they had selected to be the second Virgin Mother. Because Constantine had an infusion of demon blood at the time. And so they have to spoil some other demon plans. But anyway, so so it's great. there was a recent, I think it was 2019, just before the pandemic hit, there was a live action on the DC app. There was a new live action Swamp Thing series that was pretty cool, pretty good and getting going, but they canceled it. It was only one season. Yeah, he's one of the Swamp Thing is one of those characters that can go into anything. He's been great when he pops up in Batman to deal with some of the supernatural stuff in Gotham. As in all things Harley Quinn, when he pops up in Harley Quinn to help Poison Ivy get her connection to the Green back, oh my God. He's the ultimate Portland granola crunching stereotype. Hey, how about we just all have a little bit of tea here, okay? I made some matcha for us, and we got kombucha brewing over here. And he's even got his hair up into like a top knot man bun.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to watch that. All right, so I'm going to move us forward a little bit. Great info about Swamp Thing there, but we're back on Daredevil, which is where we started. And
we just can't stop.
Yes, I know, but that season 3 is confirmed now to be adapting a beloved comic book run, which is
The Devil in Cell Block C.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, get that man a trophy. I want to say multiple of my friends, including you guys here on the show, have all predicted that long before we got to this point, that this is where they were going with it. And it looks like that's where we're going to get for season 3. So it's going to be something interesting, something fun.
Yep. Yeah, and it ties in, since the opening issue of the Devil in Cell Block C story arc has Foggy in the comics visiting his buddy in prison, only to be stabbed to death by an inmate.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, they can't really do that now because Foggy's already dead.
Right. But the whole story arc doesn't depend on having the Matt and Foggy dynamic, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's going to be good.
It's not going to be as intense as the Devil in Cell Block C, because in that story arc, he's in the same prison as not only Fisk, but also Bullseye.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Bullseye's not in the prison; he's out of country.
And so is Kingpin,
because he's out of country.
Yep. And and then the Punisher gets involved by voluntarily surrendering and getting apprehended and sentenced in order to help Daredevil out in literally the Hell's Prison. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to. Yeah, like I said, Daredevil season 3 can't come soon enough, but everything that's going to happen between now and Daredevil season 3 can't happen fast enough either. And that includes Spider-Man, Doomsday, like all of it.
Last little bit about the comics arc that ties in with the general MCU plans that we know of is that while Matt's in prison, there is a Daredevil.
Really?
Protecting Hell's Kitchen. It's Iron Fist.
Oh, really?
Yep. So Iron Fist takes on the mantle of Daredevil to protect Hell's Kitchen in the comics. Now, we know that Finn Jones has joined up with his brother from another mother in New York in filming. Right. So that could be for season 3, since they're projecting that this is going to be coming out 2027 now.
Well, if that's a year from now, okay.
Yeah, 2027. And so we could be getting either a Hero for Hire series, or we could have Danny being Daredevil for a little while Born Again season 3 runs its course. Well, Matt's in prison, yeah. So we will see what happens and what develops. The only confirmed people the only people that we have not had confirmed that I want to see are Elodie Young, who played Elektra. I cannot remember her name, who played Colleen Wing, who is now Iron Fist in the MCU after the events of the Iron Fist series. And Simone Messick, who plays Misty Knight.
Yes.
I'd
I'm
love
down
to
for
see
her
all
to
three
come
of
back.
those ladies to get involved. And also, certain new goddess of fandom named Rosario Dawson. We could have a Claire Temple. She could just, wipe off all her Ahsoka makeup and just go over to the studio next door and be Claire for a couple of cameos.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. I would be 100% down for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so here we go with the what's up?
Yeah. So we've got the potential for Devil in Cell Block D. We've got the potential for a Heroes for Hire series, and we've got the potential for a regular Defenders series up.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot of answers with Spider-Man Brand New Day, because John Barenthal recently had an interview where he talks more about the relationship and the link between Punisher and Peter in the film.
Awesome. Like I said, I know I will be there for Brand New Day. I will be seeing that in the theaters, hiding their hairs.
Yeah.
I'll say, all right. So this is just an interesting subject that I picked up here.
Yeah.
That was Transformers reviving original Megatron design, once deemed too dangerous. Now I'm beginning to not understand why this was deemed too dangerous.
Right.
I'm looking at this original color scheme.
It's CBR clickbaiting. It's a CBR clickbait headline, because yes, we're getting 1984 Megatron back. The Walther P38 pistol that I still have, love, and fully functional and with all parts. But there's two caveats to it. One, it's a mini avatar kit from YOLO Park that is non-transformable, so it's just Megatron in his bot form,
and that's it
with the arm cannon. But it's not his original color scheme.
Right.
The color scheme it's a color scheme they were thinking of continuing Megatron in, where it's orange and blue parts with the body rather than the all silver and steel gray plastic parts.
What I like.
It's an orange barrel, orange hammer body, blue receiver, and other safety bullshit.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately, sadly, is necessary because of the way both kids and cops act these days.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It was at first I was disappointed because I thought they were saying they were going, because I know like somewhere around the early 90s they went away from the pistol.
Right. Hasbro stopped making Megatron as a pistol, and there were no new.
I thought they were going back to that.
No, yeah, there were no new Megatron figures from Hasbro, although Takara in Japan was all like, "What's the problem?" And there were a lot of Takara and the various licensed Japanese Megatron knockoffs that were solely in the East Asian that couldn't be sold in the U.S. or even imported into the U.S. Hasbro tried the blue and orange color scheme, but then decided, this kind of sucks. And that's really why we got Galvatron in the 86 movie, is they needed something other than a gun for kids to play with. So Galvatron was a cannon. And
Galvatron was it? Yeah, Galvatron. I had both. I had the Galvatron cannon and I had the Megatron when he was a gun.
Yeah, Exactly.
I don't know why they got rid of it.
That's how Hasbro continued on the character. And then, of course, we had the Michael Bay films come out, and from the original Transformers movie all the way up through even to today, Megatron has always been portrayed as a tank, a fighting vehicle of some kind, of some kind of power. And there's hardcore G1 fans that really are not having it. So, but, it is what it is. Life is what it is. So I think it's cool for completionists that want everything Transformers, because it is a look into the thought processes of the mid-'80s, early '90s toy industry or Hasbro industry. But for me, it's like, I've got my original G1 Optimus Prime, my original G1 Megatron facing off against each other in a display cabinet, including their thermal heat rub decals are still working.
Let's see. So, okay. So we're going to talk about this next subject, and it's kind of a weird subject, because they say that there's 5 new hero suits for Avengers Doomsday, but I don't see 5 new suits. Like the Black Panther suit is the same Black Panther suit she wore in Black Panther 2, but it says
including the head studs over the eyebrows and the forehead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at least. Well, I might be wrong on that. I might be wrong on that.
I didn't make it through Wakanda Forever. I'll be honest. It was just kind of like, yeah.
Well, but they said it does bring back, the latest trailer brings back 5 MCU characters: Shuri, Namor, M'Baku, and the Thing. While Namor and Namor were antagonists when they debuted in the franchise, by the end of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the nations of T'Challa and Wakanda struck a truce.
Yeah.
They will be allies when Doctor Doom comes calling in Avengers Doomsday, making the 2 characters heroes. Right. Okay.
So we are getting a character redesign for M'Baku, which I'm happy because M'Baku just stole Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman was the star and was fantastic. Killmonger was now an A-tier Marvel villain, on the ranks of Magneto. Namor, it is what it is. Shuri, again, it is what it is. I like her better in the comics than I do in live action. But yeah, and the Thing, I do not. Yeah, the article doesn't have it, but there is apparently a new trailer embedded down at the bottom. Yeah, for 1 minute. Yeah, it's the desert trailer. I'm watching it right now.
Okay, then we can pull it up.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the article next to the Avengers Doomsday poster, and they'll show it off. And I can't remember what Thing's new costume is, whether they're getting him into the wrestling trunk suit or just the tidy blues that he traditionally wears, because I know he had more of the spacesuit.
Yeah.
In the absolute fantastic Four first. Oh my God. That was just.
I've lost everyone that matters to me.
It's a lot of
He has his duties.
I said a lot of the stuff, but Namor, he probably looks closer now to what what's up? He probably looks closer to what what he looks like in the comics.
Now, M'Baku,
I don't really see any major differences in look.
Ben,
there we go. Yeah,
Yancey Street between Broome and Grand.
That's the same suit that she wore in.
Yeah, M'Baku, his is the biggest difference because he's going full on tech with his. That's like that's hard armor rather than the gorilla leather style armor that mimics a gorilla. So
I feel you. So it is some tweaks to their whatchamacallit.
To M'Baku. No, I am not calling him Man-Ape.
Yeah, I won't call him. I like M'Baku better anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, speaking of Black Panther and all that stuff, there apparently was a recent interview with Reggie Hudlin, writer and director, writer and on legendary runs of Black Panther, where he was talking about, and this was for the recent 60th anniversary of Black Panther, which was last month or the month before. And Reggie said that he was talking about the history, Don McGregor with Jungle Tales, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and all these guys. And he just said, yeah, I skipped over the Roy Thomas part.
Dang.
Roy Thomas was the guy who urbanized Black Panther, shall we say.
Yeah.
Taking the king out of the jungle and trying to turn Black Panther into another jive-talking Luke Cage.
Yeah. And yeah.
The crimes of Roy Thomas are many and varied. And usually involve the portrayal of non-white characters.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully, yeah. Maybe things will change one day.
Yeah.
I want to say, all right, so last subject has to do with the new release, which I'm going to probably try to catch it on bootleg, of Mortal Kombat 2 this weekend.
Yeah.
He didn't blast everybody like online, but the one of the producers, Todd Garner, has taken to blasting some of the critics, despite Mortal Kombat 2 actually overall receiving a pretty good review, even on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
but
he's blasting the critic reviews, which were, let's face it, they were never going to be great to begin with.
Yeah,
it's the audience reviews for films like Mortal Kombat series, action films like that. It's pretty much get a good audience score and get a good box office return. That's all that matters. And they're in what, the 80 to 90 ranges in audience scores. And they are tied for number one at the box office this past week. And they've been number one at the box office pretty much since they released.
Well, they just released on Friday.
Okay. So they are, they're tied for number one with The Devil Wears Prada 2, but hey, it's still number one. So they're still pulling in money.
Right.
So
there's a market out there for the Mortal Kombat movie.
There is a market for it. Yeah. And so, both goals, two for two goals as far as the franchise is concerned.
Here, I just wanted to read this. This is hilarious because I kind of agree with him here. But this was a tweet that he put out on Twitter, on X, saying some of these reviews are cracking me up. It's clear they have never played the game and have no idea what the fans want or any of the rules canon of Mortal Kombat. One reviewer was mad that a guy had a laser eye. Why the frick? I assume he didn't say frick. But why the frick do we still allow people that don't have any love for the genre review these movies? It's baffling. Exactly. I'm inclined to believe him. Like, if Mortal Kombat isn't your thing, you shouldn't be doing a review on that movie. You should be doing a review on something else.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to give an objective opinion.
Exactly. If you notice, I don't talk about Marvel zombies.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the superhero zombie genre mix. It's just not my thing. So I don't go near it. I don't have an opinion on it. If people like it, great. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. It's just not for me. And that's why I think that a lot of critics, like we both grew up in the Siskel and Ebert era, where those were the two top movie critics. And for the non-popcorn stuff,
Yeah.
I listened to them. But I didn't listen to them for a lot of the escapist fantasy, dumb action adventure stuff, because that's not cinema. That's just a movie.
Exactly. Like
Hey.
I don't go. I'm not going to watch I'm not going to watch a new Street Fighter movie in the theater so I can go
Right.
see them perform Shakespeare. I'm
Every
going to
so-
see them perform
yeah.
some of my favorite moves, and that's about it.
Every so often, you're going to get something that's going to blur the lines between genre and art, the way
Right.
that Star Wars did, the way that Lord of the Rings did, and other films. But those are the exceptions to the rule. You know, there's so many Roger Corman films that are just a fun time. They're not high art.
I hate to say it, look at Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's a great movie, but it's just a great movie because it's aware that it's just kind of a fluffy movie. And
it's aware that it's a parody. Yeah. Exactly. It's the same reason why She-Hulk was a great Marvel show, is that it was aware of itself. It understood, and it understood the source material, and it got the assignments correct, despite the bleeding, the cries from the people who wanted it just to be sexy, strong muscle mommy.
Yeah. And
even if they don't admit it.
Exactly.
That's what they were there for. They were there to see She-Hulk smash, which She-Hulk smashed, just not through things that they were wanting. And, you know, only Deadpool should be breaking the fourth wall when She-Hulk virtually invented that.
First to do it, yeah.
For Marvel.
Like, was the first to do it in the comics.
Yep.
Like, but at the end of the day, ultimately, I will always. Me and my mom used to even have a thing that we used to say about when who was it? Siskel and Ebert were the big like movie reviewers out there, and we would be like, yeah, we listen to them, but only to an extent. We're still going to go pay and see the movie ourselves and formulate an opinion about the movie ourselves. Like, yes, it's nice that he gives his opinion, but that's their opinion. There have been too many movies. We started doing it because there have been so many movies where we went and saw the movie and we were like, this is a pretty good movie. And Siskel and Ebert are pretty much panned it all the way across. Who was
the reviewer for the San Francisco Chronicle? I can't remember his name, but generally when I'd be perusing through the Chronicle while working up in San Francisco, going through the lifestyle and going through the movie reviews, if he hated it, that was a sign that I was going to like it.
Yes, I know there are critics out there like that with me too. If they don't like it, I know I will.
And then there's Armand White, who is the contrarian, no matter what.
Yeah,
he will give the contrarian opinion just to gain attention and readership. So, all right, we are going really long here.
Yeah. So that's why I was just going to say that's good. That's actually our final subject for Pop Culture Corner. So we're going to go on ahead and dive out and go to our commercial break, which afterwards, the commercial break, we'll be jumping into SmackDown Alley and talking a little WWE Backlash from last night.
You will be talking about Backlash, because I have not figured out how to upgrade my subscription or use the website to watch Backlash. I'm aware of some of the things, like the mini housings.
Yeah,
but
like I said, we'll go over the results of each match and we can kind of bounce around and talk a little bit. But you'll talk a little bit about Backlash, and then we will be talking some video game talk as well. So you are watching the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on First GenXers.
Daredevil Born Again Edition.
Yeah, where Daredevil Born Again Edition. Yeah, where you're watching us on YouTube, on the First GenXers or Double KK Double Network YouTube, or on Twitch. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the break. Peace.
Yep, we still doing it.
Poetic beat.
First GenXers. Gia. Let's get it, y'all. Come on. We back in the building. It's been a long time cooking in the soup kitchen. And I'm chilling with the same. Dropping these beats, won't stop, nope, I can't. Let me get up in the lab, turn it up. Game on with the first GenXers. What's up? Let's flip on the switch or the Xbox and get up in my zone. I'm clowning. Let me clear my throat for a minute. Shout out to my folks while I'm in it. It ain't nothing but love, it's babe business. I really don't know what's so who ain't feeling this. And this is only the beginning. Now versus then, this is something for the chillin'. Poetic got the joints like McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's the first gen. We're now rocking with Poetic Beats. This is the first GenXers production. Get your PlayStations out. Get your Xbox out. Get your Switch out. Let's get it in, y'all. Holla back.
Got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me. I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode.
Adam's family like dynamic between Pugsley and Wednesday. Like, very true.
Yeah.
Well, I always temper this because I think
I did not like the perceived culture tagline.
I've also seen what Chase Center looks like when the Valkyries are fucking playing, so fuck all of you. Because Chase Center is packed no matter what's going on.
All right. So for the time being, we are back from promo break. It will be just me for right now. And we are going to jump immediately into all right. Yeah, so let's see. When we look at WWE Backlash, Hello. Sorry about that. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, it just didn't. My mic went dead on me because I used it yesterday. So anyway, what I was saying is that what we're going to focus on right now is the opening match, which is Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins, a match that it took about 5 or 6 spears from Braun Breaker to put Seth Rollins down finally by himself, or for the 1-2-3, and it also took a little bit of interference from the Vision, of course. Logan Paul and Austin Theory made their way out to the ring, and he ended up getting beat down by Seth, and made to look silly, and so Seth ran them off, and then came back into the ring and caught 2 more spears from Braun Breaker to put him down for the 1-2-3. So hopefully this should end the whole back and forth between the two of them, but I have this weird feeling that it's not quite over yet. As I said, we still have the return of Bronson Reed that we got to build to, etc. But that match lasted about 15, 20 minutes. I thought it was entertaining all the way through. I think it definitely got to show and shine exactly how much of a talent Braun Breaker is, and exactly what we have to look forward to. I think he needs to learn a little bit more about emotion in the ring. People care about wrestling, but they also care about character as well. And characters that are full all rage all the time don't normally last too long. They flame out. All right. The next one was the very, very defeated Trick Williams. If you watched this week's SmackDown, you remember that. The current U.S. champ taking on Sami Zayn, who's looking to get his belt back, or the belt back from Trick Williams. And let's just say Sami failed again. There was a lot of scenes where people, at one point, I thought Lil Yachty was working with Sami, because it looked like Lil Yachty tried to help Sami pull some shit and hit Trick Williams with the cane. But he ended up hitting Sami Zayn with the cane, dropping and allowing Sami to be dropped by Trick with a trick shot, and Trick gets the 1-2-3 and the W. So it was a nice fitting whatchamacallit, all that way, he managed to get the victory and come out on top. And I hope this is the end to the Gingerbread Man storyline, and Sami Zayn can move on, preferably to the world title picture, and work his way up there. And Trick Williams can move on to other competitors like Carmelo Hayes, which is who I want to see him feud with next, going into whatever the next pay-per-view is. Give me Carmelo Hayes, or Clash in Paris is what it is. Which, by the way, this Friday was announced that Gunther will be taking on Cody Rhodes at Clash in Paris for the WWE Championship. So be on the lookout for that. I know I will be. It should be pretty fun. That's towards the end of the month. All right. So then next up was a match that brought tears to my eyes, because did they not only give us a great match, but they gave us a show afterwards, as Asuka may be coming towards the end of her career with WWE, or the end of her career altogether, because the way that they responded to each other, the hugs, the blowing kisses to the crowd and all of that, it genuinely made it feel like, I don't know if this was the last match for Asuka and Kairi Sane, or not Kairi Sane, but Io Sky, or if this is the last match for Asuka altogether. Because that's a very big possibility that this is the last time we could see Asuka work in a ring altogether, or just in a WWE. But needless to say, the match itself was worth it. I think this match was originally supposed to be booked with Kairi Sane and Asuka, but since Kairi went back to Japan, and you never know, Asuka may be retiring, and it may have something to do with how they did Kairi Sane and sending her back to Japan. So yeah. So you can take a look at it, figure it out, and see for yourself. But that match was, to me, a 4.5, 5-star match. And I don't believe in stars, but if I had to give it one, 4.5 to 5 stars would definitely be it. Let's see. Next up, we had Danhausen and a Minihausen, the Mini D, taking on Kit Wilson and The Miz in what was exactly what you would want a comedy match to be. in how they're acting from every aspect. And I love the Miz because he makes things like this so fun and so real that it's just hilarious. And so you had Miz and Kit Wilson taking on Danhausen and the mini Danhausen, who was just a luchador, I believe, from AAA in a Danhausen lucha mask, and they actually got the win. And it was a fun little match. Like I said, think Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. Like that wasn't supposed to be a wrestling match, and neither was this. Even though there was some wrestling that went on, and Danhausen can go. There was some wrestling that went on, but it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be a comedy match. It wasn't meant to be a wrestling match, and that's the same thing that what this was with tag team match. This wasn't meant to be a wrestling match. This was meant to be a fun little match for them to enjoy themselves in, and for them to get Danhausen even more over. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, sorry about that. I had to take a little extended break to take care of a few things.
No problem.
Yeah, I caught the clips. I caught a couple clips of the Danhausen taking care of Miz and Kit Wilson and going the coast to coast. Yeah, he can wrestle.
Yeah.
I am certifiably, like I said, I was already a Fanhausen because of his interaction with people, but I will go for him.
It was a great. I'll say it was a great way to continue to showcase him as a balance between being a comedy act and being a serious competitor.
Right.
Because Danhausen is not somebody that's ever going to need a title or a title run to get over. No, I don't see anybody, even the fans of Danhausen, saying, "Oh, well, Danhausen deserves a run with the U.S. title." Like he's not that.
He's just going to be. He's just going to be a fun character to root for and not take seriously. I mean, I'm sure that they'll have some things every so often where he'll get a belt, or he'll get a championship run, but nothing like. He's not going to be anything in the serious. It's going to be, oh, cool.
I'll say in 100%. Like I said, Danhausen will be that guy to every pay-per-view. He'll have his big moment. To me, he'll remind me of, even though again, this was another wrestler who could really go in the ring. But that was a gentleman who was the boogeyman. As a wrestler, he could actually really go. Like he was one of the better wrestlers in the company at the time in which he was popular. But the boogeyman gimmick was so popular as it was that it didn't really make a lot of sense to try to change it into a more viable, fighting character, championship level character. So, all right. And then the final match was the main event of the evening. And that was Roman Reigns defeating Jacob Fatu and retaining his World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
So, and it was a hell of a match. Jacob dominated a lot of it, if you watch it. And it was just, at the end of the day, Roman just was too much. Ended up being able to put Jacob Fatu down. And at the end of it all, after Roman was handed his belt and he survived, Jacob Fatu proceeded to attack him and beat him down even more and finished the Backlash pay-per-view with Jacob standing over Roman Reigns and while holding the title. So obviously this is far, far, far.
Oh, yeah.
So, I can't wait to see where they go next. I think we're going to go back to a thing that in the in-between pay-per-views, with an exception for maybe Night of Champions or including Night of Champions. The in-between pay-per-views are going to be it's going to be alternating. Like this one, Roman was the World Heavyweight Championship was the main event, and Roman versus Fatu was. At Clash in Paris, it's going to be Cody versus Gunther, and that's going to be the main event, but Roman won't defend his title on that one. And then, what I'm saying, like they'll go back and forth.
They'll have a season of building up the heat between the two before we have another pressure release valve episode. Yeah.
Very much so.
speaking of pay-per-views and stuff, just a slight interjection that I learned of the other day, and intersection of real world and WWE. Apparently, the Saudi royal family is pulling the Royal Investment Fund from American corporations.
Really?
So they're pulling out.
Uh-oh.
So how this affects WWE, we will see. I'm guessing that, you know, if that the money is, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to pull from WWE or not.
Knowing the obsession that the WWE may have to pull out of events due to the unrest out there right now.
Right.
But I doubt that the Saudis are going to pull out from having WWE come
because they need the PR.
Right, and they need the positive PR.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, we'll see moving forward. Like I said, the next Saudi event was supposed to be Night of Champions in June. So we'll see how that plays out. All right. So that's going to do it for us for that was the other thing. Okay, so one final thing that has to be talked about from Backlash is the announcement that John Cena made, where John Cena made an announcement to the crowd that they are going to be putting on a John Cena Classic, the first ever, and he's hoping that there's going to be plenty more John Cena Classic, in which a John Cena Classic champion will be crowned. There will be wrestlers from NXT and from the main roster and from Raw and SmackDown facing off against each other. Here's the kicker. The winner of the championship that night will be decided by the fans' vote.
Ooh.
And not by winning matches. So effectively, a wrestler could lose their very first match, not advance in the John Cena Classic tournament, and still end up being crowned champion of the John Cena Classic, because it's about the fans. You know, he may take the L, but he gained the respect and the love and the adoration of the fans enough to allow him to win the championship.
We'll see. Also, did you? I saw briefly there was a clip about Asuka.
Yeah, I talked about that earlier.
Oh, okay,
I'm sorry. It may be
care of stuff. So
yeah, it may be her last match. We don't know yet. There hasn't been anything confirmed by her or anybody. It's just a reaction that was had between her and Io Sky after the match was over.
And who won that, Asuka or Io Sky?
Io Sky got the victory.
Okay.
Which is another reason to believe that Asuka could be retiring, because Asuka is a original type person that would want to go out on her back. She's a traditional type wrestler. So yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, it was a lot that leaned towards that, but Asuka didn't do like what Brock Lesnar did. She didn't take off her boots and leave him in the ring or anything like that, but just the way her and Kari, and then there was a tweet that but Io Sky put out after the match, basically thanking Asuka. And it made it seem like that was going to be Asuka's last match.
Yeah, I think that if Asuka is winding down, I think that we might get one. Is WWE going to have a event anywhere near Japan this year?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I would think that we might get a reunion of the Kabuki Warriors for one final match.
Yeah.
And that's where Asuka will put her boots in the ring and make it official. Go out as that. And possibly Kairi Sane too.
Well, like I said, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Time will only tell when Asuka is going to retire. This could just mean that like Asuka is making a request to creative and the Triple H to like, look, I don't want to be wrestling Io Sky anymore. Like, I love my girl. I don't want to be wrestling her. We've had our moment. We had our final, top of the hill match.
Asuka versus Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, we could see Asuka move over to SmackDown and try to invigorate that main event scene with the women's title. So it's there's a billion possibilities.
Yeah.
But it just kind of felt like a goodbye match from Asuka.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Just seeing the result of that with the hug between the two. I agree with you on that. It's some form of ending. Maybe not the end, but winding towards an ending.
Very much so. So, because I think if a lot of people are saying, "Oh, this was supposed to be Kari Sane's match," and even I said that a little bit earlier, but the more I think about it, no, I think this was always supposed to be Asuka and Io Sky, but this was going to be the moment where Kari turns on on Asuka, and you know what I'm saying, it doesn't help her win or helps Io Sky win, and then you lead into their feud. You start their feud that kicks off and goes into a match at SummerSlam.
Yep.
But yeah, we will see. We will see whether or not Asuka's still there. Hopefully she's not done, because I think she's still got a lot of gas left in her. But yeah, so that was an interesting announcement by John Cena. The Asuka match was great, and yeah, Backlash is an overall. I give it like a B+, easy. So, all right, so that's going to wrap us up for Wrestling Talk for today. Next up, we are going to jump video game talk. Yay! First thing I want to say is this: for anybody who is a fan of the Final Fantasy games and would love to take their shot, like I am now doing on Retro Saturdays at the old Japanese versions of the games, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all available on Game Pass right now.
Yes.
For you to download. I want to say it's like maybe the file size is maybe 1.5 gigs to download it. So
yeah, and they're all free for Game Pass.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay for them. You just download them and play it. That's why I started playing. That's why my new Retro Saturday game, starting with yesterday, is Final Fantasy 3, not the American version, not 6.
The Japanese
version 3.
Yep.
So I've never played it before. The story looks interesting. They translated all the Japanese to English, so you can play it. And I'm gonna try to go through this run without a strategy guide. I'm just gonna play it again.
That would be great for Square Enix, just to remaster and relaunch the entire Final Fantasy series with localization and get the numbering order back
to where it's supposed to be. Yeah.
To where it's supposed to be. Okay. So that everyone knows, what you're talking about. When like you said, when you're saying playing Final Fantasy 3 in America, that's actually Final Fantasy 6 in Japan. Right. Yeah.
So like, no, 100%. So like, but I do recommend it. I said, so far it's been fun. So we'll see where it goes from here. And no, I'll do, where can we find you next? I'll do the announcement on what's coming back on Thursdays. So, all right. So getting back to video games, it says wrong part. There we go. It says Square Enix RPG gets re-released after 34 years.
And that's Final Fantasy 5 on Game Pass.
Oh, 5.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so was 5 released out here or no?
I don't know. I'm just vamping into what you were starting off with.
Yeah, no, I don't remember there ever being I remember there being Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3.
Based on the article, this is Final Fantasy 5 for the SNES.
For the SNES. Or SNES. Sorry, you said SNES.
Yeah.
I'm like SNES.
But no, yes. System.
But yes, Xbox. Yeah, and well, the reason I ask about it is like, because I remember there being a 1, 2, and 3, and then all of a sudden there was 7. Like, I don't remember there being a 4, 5, or 6 in the US.
Yeah.
Like what? Like, y'all got to fill in some blanks here for me, because evidently 4, 5, and 6 would have been 7, 8, and 9 in Japan. You know what I'm saying? So
again, get the numbering order, remaster, get it all squared away. Square.
Or you can even go multiversal with it. like the Cloud Final Fantasy VII thing happened. It's in the Final Fantasy universe, but it's in a different universe. You can even do that. I don't know.
I'm so confused.
But you wouldn't be able to. There's no way to tie it together because what number is 7? Like, dude, is there a version of 7 in Japan?
I don't know.
Oh, we're asking the questions that blow your mind.
I know.
Let's see.
All right.
But yes, so I'm glad we opened up with that because that was what I was talking about how on Game Pass it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all available right now. The title of this article reads that Aliens Fireteam 2 has been announced. I never played Fireteams 1, so what is that? Just like a multiplayer?
Yes, it is a multiplayer. Came out in 2021. Player versus environment, and the game was Aliens Fireteam Elite. But Fireteam Elite 2 is coming this summer on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. Is
the crossplay though? Because it's saying 4-player co-op. So is it crossplay or is it 4-player all on local?
Okay, so Aliens Fireteam Elite, the first one was a trio-based third-person shooter, but Elite 2 is going to be a 4-player party shooter. The game will support crossplay across all available platforms and feature new xenomorph types, player classes, including the specialists, which IGN says is a fully customizable class that lets you mix and match abilities from any class, and more. Okay, and there is a trailer that was revealed on IGN. And this is coming to us from Game Informer, which kind of does the same thing. They aggregate stuff, but they do the same thing we do, but they just kind of do it better because they've been doing it longer.
Yeah, a lot longer.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing about it. We are old enough. Y'all maybe not all of our viewers are, but we are old enough to remember when Game Informer was just a magazine.
Yep.
It was just a magazine that you got when you went to GameStop and you signed up for it and you paid like $14 a year or something like that, and you would get a fresh magazine sent to your house every week with all the. That's what I used to decide if I was going to buy Madden that year.
Right. So on that article in Game Informer, click on the IGN. I actually have the trailer over on IGN, the reveal trailer on IGN, up and ready to go.
All right, hold on. Where is it? You should be able to share. Right click on it and see if you can share screen.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Yes.
Okay, because I'm not seeing any trailers.
Copy video address. And let's pop this into the chat.
All right, let's see. We're doing this for you, people. We're doing this for you.
We're trying to, yeah.
Which chat are you popping it in? The studio, the StreamYard chat?
Studio, yeah. Oh, God, come on. Yes, continue to StreamYard. Yes, continue. Oh, my God. I'm just going to pop over to my other Chrome and pop in our Facebook channel.
There you go. Okay.
No, that's not it. God damn it. Okay, tell you what. We'll just move it on at I'll just pop it into wait a minute, here we go. Here's how I'm going to do it.
Drop it in the messenger chat. I can grab it.
Yep. I'm just trying to because my mouse is dying and yet another expense I need to deal with. There we go. That's where the trailer is hosted at IGN.
Okay. I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm about to break out Terry Jones' nude organist from Monty Python. Dun, 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 dun.
There we go. We skip plasma time.
What the? I got no idea. Oh, that's just the ad before the trailer. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Again. We don't have the skip button yet?
No skip button. There it is.
There we go.
If anyone is listening, this is Dr. Lily Pierce on planet LV-558 in Storespoon.
It's pretty
Xenomorphs have overrun the colony. I repeat, overrun the colony. We're running out of air and people are dying. Send the Marines. Send everyone.
Love that dropship.
Buffering?
That actually looks pretty interesting. Like, I doubt any of the direct gameplay looks like that.
Yeah.
Hold the line!
Yeah, this is just the reveal trailer, so.
Oh, it's bringing in the fourth person because there's only 3 there, and then it's the 4th dude coming in to help save the day. So it's showing you it's the 4-player co-op. See, there's the actual gameplay right there.
Yeah.
Get them larger than life Xeno. Can you imagine that, standing there and watching your homie get iced by xenomorphs? That would
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, so that's enough of that. But yeah, that trailer makes the game look definitely not only playable but worthwhile.
That's gonna be. I mean, I might have a 4th for you, me, Saint, and my buddy, who is heavily into aliens. He might be able to join us on that, especially if it's crossplay.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do a run on that. I'd be down for that. And then one of us will stream it.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I've been telling Saint we need to do some of that. Like
We
we
do.
all have our individual shows, so we need to start doing some crossovers where we play games together, we play certain games together, and stuff like that. But
Okay.
all
right.
So what's the next story?
We're in the home stretch here, folks. Trust us.
Yep.
Okay.
Next up there is a new Zelda game with a surprise protagonist being leaked for 2027. And no, it's not Ocarina of Time remake. Says Zelda's 40th anniversary, a full remake of Ocarina of Time coming this holiday season.
December, November.
Says leaker claims 2D Zelda game is coming in 2027, possibly centering around Ganondorf. I don't know who that is.
We have a full Mario game where you play Bowser, right?
Yeah, so why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
What happened to the Zelda game where you're playing Zelda?
Yeah, where you're playing as Zelda. Yeah, I like it when they flip it and they let you play a character that was previously just kind of an NPC. A non-playable character. Like I like it when they do things like that. I just don't know if I'm up for 2D gaming anymore. Like I don't know. Like Saint loves it. Saint loves the platforming and 2D gaming and all that. Me, I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
But that looks like an interesting game to play.
Yep.
All right, and so here's an effort to give Dave something to rant about during video games, and that is Sony CEO says AI will enable PlayStation projects previously out of reach. Yeah, yeah.
It's basically just going to be an excuse to cut down more of the workforce. And when you're looking at how AI is going to affect the two main entertainment industries in Japan, video games and anime, by eliminating the need for human artists, human programmers, human developers, human voice actors. I mean, it's not going to be good. I think that Sony and Japan being on the forefront of the AIization of entertainment is going to be the test case for what's going to happen in the larger Western world with entertainment.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from. Like,
now, there's also something kind of interesting that I would kind of embrace, which is Sony in previous statements has sort of been leaning into using AI to individualize the game. Okay. In other words, you're still going to be getting Final Fantasy whatever, but AI will make subtle or gross alterations to the game to individualize the game to your preferences. So
yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Let's take a look at my absolute long-standing greatest complaint about Bethesda is that they create these incredible worlds, these incredible political scenarios through Elder Scrolls, through Fallout, through Starfield, but you cannot affect those political factions. Like with Skyrim, what's to stop you from going full Dragonborn, full leader of the Companions, full leader of the Thieves Guild, full leader of the Dark Brotherhood, showing up to the moot and deciding that, no, I'm not going to side by Ulfric or Elspeth. I'm taking control now. I'm the ultimate power. I'm the one that's going to unify Stormhold. You either follow me or I will replace you.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, because neither one's a great choice to make. If you side with Elsif, then you're allowing the Thalmor-controlled Empire to completely dominate Skyrim again. If you sign with Stormcloak, Ulfric, spoilers, you find out that he's controlled by the Thalmor and that it's just going to completely destroy the Empire, which is going to give the Thalmor and the High Elves even more control over the continent of Tamriel. You know, it's crazy. So we'll see. I'm still just really deeply just starting to dive into the new Terran Armada conflict or content for Starfield, and this new organization Void, where you've got UC and Freestar folks saying, "Yeah, fuck you both. We need to unite against this fascist menace that's coming." So we'll see if they do that. But imagine being able to play a game that you love but has an imperfect ending, and you can see how you could use the mechanics to make the ending better. And the AI adapts to that and makes it better for you. It gives you the ending that you want rather than the ending that's intended.
That would be pretty awesome. That's the only thing I really want to see AI used for is in video games. Me and Suave have said this multiple times that they need to use generative AI for the commentators in sports games, because if they did, then their commentary will be more conducive and in line with what's actually going on in the seasons that you're playing in online franchise or franchise mode, instead of just being the same. After you play 2 or 3 seasons, you've literally heard everything and it's just the same things being repeated over and over and over again. Right. Like if they can fix that, that would be super awesome.
Well, meanwhile, in comparison, EA is looking at using AI to bring in player assets, not player as in various new players in the game assets, but physical, behind the remote, your the assets that you create, the fan stuff that you create in support of your team. They're looking at using AI to incorporate your stuff that you've created into their game, in the banners and the crowd shots and other stuff like that.
That would be pretty sick.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I'll say final topic of the day is the PS6 has an official release date and pricing plan detailed by Sony as of May 8th. Let's see. PS6 is looked to be out. The memory price is also expected to be very high in FY27. Okay, so unquestionably, the biggest hurdle for PS6 will be its price in the wake of ongoing RAM shortages. Sony has greatly increased the cost of the PS5 and PS5 Pro, with the latter console now retailing it for $900. Assuming that these manufacturing difficulties continue, this suggests that the PS6 could sell for as much as $1,000 by the time that it arrives. Such a price would surely be catastrophic for Sony.
The PS6 for $6,000?
No, for $1,000.
Oh, well, even $4,000.
For $1,000, yeah, for $1,000, because they're saying like right now they've upped the price of the PS5 and PS5 Pro to $900. So they're expecting that they're predicting that the price for the PS5 or PS6 is going to be something over $1,000.
Yeah, and that's
as long as they bundle it with some other shit. Like I'm good with paying $1,000. Like I paid $1,000 for my Xbox 360, an extra controller, and 2 video games, and the Wi-Fi adapter so I could connect it to the internet. So that felt like worth, and a bag to carry it in. So that made it worth paying $1,000 for.
Yeah,
they give me like an extra controller. That they can give me, if they give me an extra controller, maybe a couple of games with it that I could download, like something like that. Like some, like that would make it worth $1,000. But if you're going to tell me just a plain console is over $1,000,
toss in coupon for a Portal, like 50% off the Portal.
Right.
Yeah, I actually have a Backbone, but I took a look at the price of the PS Portal, which is basically the same thing, and it's like double the price.
Wow. Like, yeah. So see, and so it's I get it why they're charging so much, because in certain aspects they do have to, just because of the fact that it costs so much to build one of the systems. Like I remember hearing off the original Xbox, literally Bill Gates lost an average of $50 a unit.
And that's the thing, is that back in the day, the consoles were the loss leader into the game licenses, because that's where the real money for Sony and Microsoft were made, was the per unit software code that you had to pay up front for how many physical copies you were planning on making. It's not possible in the digital era now.
Right. Now everybody can just download it. But all right. So that's going to wrap us up for video games. Any last minute subjects you got there, Dave?
Nope, not that I can think of. Oh, by the way, there's been debate. I just saw this. There has been debate about for Sony regarding day and date game availability on PlayStation and PC. I've heard both sides say, I've heard Sony saying, no, we will never do day and date. That's not part of our business structure. I've heard the other side saying that Sony is going to adapt to allow for day and date. But it's an ongoing conversation within the company.
Okay, well, hopefully they'll give us a full day and date sometime soon.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to know so I can start saving my money, because, I got to save up for a mortgage and a PS6.
You need to take out a second mortgage for the PS6.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll say, all right. So, like I said, that will carry us into our final segment of the week of the day, which is Where Can We Find You Next? Where me and Dave and sometimes Saint talks about what you can look forward to this upcoming week. Dave, go ahead and kick us off. What can we expect from you on the night shift this week?
I will be on the night shift, midnight Pacific time, for more Starfield. I did a couple of runs against the Terran Armada last night, finally getting into that content. And yeah, it's pretty good. Doing some incursions, so I got to do a couple more to advance the main content storyline there. But also, I'm going to start running the UC Vanguard missions to start working my way towards that storyline developments.
Okay.
Yep.
So it sounds like an interesting week. Be sure to tune in the night shift at 12 p.m. till whenever you decide.
I've been on a roll. Last week I went 4 for 4, Sunday, Monday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm going to try to do it tonight. And a couple of times I went actually all the way to 4 a.m. Pacific time. So
there you go.
Starting to get back into the groove a little bit.
All right, and you will find me next on the classroom at 6 o'clock. Oh no! Sorry, the classroom's being canceled tonight. It is Mother's Day, so O'Malley is spending the day with her mother. My mother has passed, so I'm going to spend some time reflecting on my mother and spending some time with my daughter. And we're going to cancel it. I believe the Saint will be on early with a Mother's Day episode of Now versus Then to fill in that gap. So the next time you guys will see me will be on Tuesday for Football Tuesdays and some EA Sports College Football 26. And then the announcement that I had that I spoke of at the beginning of the video game segment is that starting up this Thursday, we are going back to MLB Thursdays. So I'll be playing MLB The Show 25 in the mornings for a couple hours. So be sure to join me. Start time is normally roughly between 9:30 and 10. And let's go have some fun winning some world championships with the Oakland / Las Vegas / Sacramento / Milky Way Galaxy Athletics. All right. And we will have some fun. So we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have Saint back and you'll see Saint in just a few hours. We love you all. Thanks for tapping in. To all of you who tapped in on YouTube or on Twitter or on Twitch. And yeah, stay up, stay real.
Talk to your mama. Tell her you love her.
Yes, for sure. Shout out to all the mothers. We love you. Peace.
Back.